Ignite your engines, you're on the grid with Motor Maven. Today we're diving into the electric vehicle landscape in China, where the fast-paced evolution of EV technology is shifting gears towards consolidation. As we navigate this journey, we'll uncover 7 reasons why a multitude of EV manufacturers are on the brink of bankruptcy, leaving a potential workforce crisis in their wake. Reason number 7, the impending tsunami. A few weeks back, the CEO of Li Auto, one of China's largest EV manufacturers, issued a stark warning. He called for government intervention to prevent an industry-wide collapse and suggested that companies band together to weather the storm. The competition is fierce, and the market is saturated with 91 EV manufacturers, according to the latest data. Some companies are boldly announcing plans for 30 new models in the next 3 years, despite never having turned a profit. The Chinese EV market is a bustling metropolis, and while it's not a free market in the traditional sense, the laws of nature dictate that not all will survive. With a recent wave of bankruptcies and more projected in the coming months, it's clear that both the government and the industry need to act swiftly. Reason number 6, BYD's stock buyback. China's EV industry, once soaring, is now navigating turbulent skies. Even industry behemoths like BYD are resorting to unconventional strategies. BYD's chairman and CEO, Wang Chuanfu, has proposed a share buyback to bolster the company's stock price, a move that would cost around $55.6 million. Share buybacks are typically a red flag, indicating an attempt to boost falling stock prices. The ongoing price war is taking a toll on everyone, including BYD, a profitable company and one of the world's largest EV makers. Its stock price dropped nearly 8% in the first 2 months of this year alone, and by 23% in 2023. While this move may be aimed at protecting shareholders and boosting investor confidence, it raises concerns about the sustainability of the Chinese EV industry and the economy as a whole. This is a clear indication that even the giants are feeling the heat in this fiercely competitive market. The question remains, can the industry navigate these challenges and continue to drive forward? Only time will tell. Reason number 5, the bankruptcy wave. Even industry giants like BYD are feeling the pressure, leading us to wonder about the fate of smaller companies. It's no surprise that in recent months, 5 Chinese EV manufacturers have declared bankruptcy. Some of these companies were once seen as promising contenders. Take WM, for example. This startup boasted advanced technology and an impressive capital of $5.3 billion. Yet, these assets weren't enough to compete in the demanding Chinese market and offset significant losses. The company is now on the hunt for new investors, but the prospects seem bleak. The case of Evergrande New Energy Auto is particularly intriguing. As part of one of China's largest conglomerates, this startup had seemingly limitless resources. However, massive investments coupled with minimal sales led to a staggering loss of $17 million on every EV sold. Other companies like Neutron and Letton, the latter once considered a rival to Tesla, have also filed for bankruptcy. The grim reality is that the same fate awaits many other EV companies this year, with experts predicting between 20 and 30 bankruptcies. Before we venture further, we'd appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button. This supports us in connecting with more auto aficionados just like you. Now let's change lanes and navigate towards our next point. Reason number 4, the EV graveyards. In major cities across China, you'll find what's known as EV graveyards, home to thousands of abandoned EVs. These graveyards serve as a stark reminder of the rise and fall of the Chinese EV industry. 2 decades ago, the government decided to promote EVs as a means to compete with Western automakers. This led to substantial government investment in electric vehicles. EV startups sprouted rapidly, capitalizing on this support. They were able to secure generous incentives and develop new technologies, with profit taking a backseat. As the industry grew, Chinese officials realized the need for stricter incentive requirements, given the surge to 500 EV companies. Some of these requirements were tied to sales numbers, leading EV companies to strike deals with car-sharing companies to boost sales and secure incentives. However, these EVs ended up in graveyards, unused despite being purchased and licensed. Reason number 3, a universal struggle. The ongoing price war and other challenges in the Chinese EV industry make the prediction of at least 20 more bankruptcies this year unsurprising. What may come as a shock to some is that it's not just the small companies that are struggling. Major car makers are feeling the pinch too. BYD, for instance, is grappling with challenges despite turning a profit on its EVs. Others aren't so fortunate. Take NIO, another promising Chinese EV manufacturer. The company has invested billions in new facilities and employs around 11,000 workers. Logistically, everything seems in order. The problem lies in the sales numbers, which have fallen short of expectations, leading to a loss of $35,000 per vehicle last year. It's no wonder the company's management is currently on a global tour, seeking fresh financial injections. Other major players are also struggling, which brings us to the number 2 reason: the limitations of the Chinese market. Reason number 2, the constraints of the Chinese EV market. China, despite being the world's second largest population, has its limits. The market simply cannot sustain the current number of EV manufacturers. Most of these companies don't export their products, leaving them reliant on domestic sales, a feat that's proving impossible for many. With the ongoing price war, even those who have managed to turn a profit are operating on razor-thin margins. The key to survival for some major companies has been establishing a presence on international markets. Take Geely and MG, for example. While they may not be leading the pack in China, they've found success globally. They've positioned themselves as affordable alternatives to Western legacy brands, and the combination of low production costs and competitive pricing keeps them in the race with more prominent EV manufacturers like BYD. Essentially, only those companies that sell their cars internationally stand a chance. Those focused solely on the domestic market are facing an inevitable downfall. Reason number 1, the decline of EV manufacturers. We're witnessing a seismic shift in the Chinese EV landscape. It began with a boom of EV startups, reaching a peak of 500 manufacturers in 2019. But the landscape has since changed dramatically. Today, there are around 90 registered EV manufacturers in China, but a significant number of these are, in essence, walking dead. Some sources suggest that 1/3 of these companies produce fewer than 500 vehicles quarterly. If we include these, we could argue that almost 90% of the manufacturers from 2019 are effectively defunct. This trend will continue until only a few players remain. Some companies will merge, others will file for bankruptcy. As it stands today, just 10 companies hold 80% of the Chinese EV market, a percentage that's set to increase in the coming years. Soon, the entire Chinese EV industry will be dominated by a handful of major automakers, while the rest will become footnotes in history, testament to the absurdity of China's massive electrification push. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Chinese EV landscape. Don't forget to subscribe to Motor Maven and hit that notification bell for the latest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. See you on the next ride.